Welcome to Built by Builders. This is our video series highlighting construction professionals who have started tech companies to provide the solutions within our industry for the very things that they found as pain points and issues that needed to be solved within our industry. And we believe it's that kind of leadership from within that is really what's needed to truly drive our industry forward. So I have today Patrick Murphy, the founder and CEO of Togle.AI, and also a leader within the coastal construction business in Florida. Welcome today, Patrick.
Thank you, Steve. Thanks for having me.
I'd love to talk and hear more about Togle and how it is different from the traditional tools that project teams are using today to do their estimate work.
First of all, Togle, the name Togle.AI, the full word means builder in the Irish language Gaelic. So a little factoid there. And it's a spin out of coastal construction, our family business. We're been blessed to become one of the largest contractors in Florida. And biggest piece of overhead in our company is estimating. Biggest piece of that is takeoffs. And as we all know in the industry, takeoffs take a lot of time. It's a manual process, clicking and dragging and basically coloring. We had the idea to use artificial intelligence to automate that coloring aspect of it, and believe that estimators are better suited spending their time on value engineering, scoping, bid leveling, all the tasks that really help make a bid better and win more work. So originally built Togle to really just be used for coastal, save us money. As we started seeing it working, we decided to spin it out, and now we're fully in the market. We've got over, I think, 700 users now, some big companies, some small companies, everything in the middle. And we're automating the takeoff process. So very excited about that, excited about what the future holds, and had a couple companies do some case studies. And Coastal did one of those last year and found that they saved almost $1 million in their first year using Togle straight to the bottom line. So it's driving some real efficiency. I know you're keeping busy with a lot of fun stuff too. And ConCntric is also in the pre-con space like us. How much time do you think is wasted inputting manual data into spreadsheets on a regular basis?
A lot. I mean, pre-construction in its nature is not a one-time thing, right? So throughout the life cycle of that pre-con engagement on one project, you'll have your team. Maybe it's one person, maybe it's five, it could be a dozen or more, but they're constantly iterating. So they're doing a lot of the same thing, periodically updating with more new and more information. So not only are they repeating a lot of the same processes over and over and over, but they're doing it with the same manual, inefficient tools. I think people are running at a 50 to 60% inefficiency rate. So it's, whether it's 1.5 to almost 2 times the effort to get the one thing done, that is incredibly wasteful. But for the smaller companies, that process, it's hundreds, and like you pointed out, it's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars of waste and people hours. And the bigger companies, it's easily millions when you add it all up together. And it's not just the cost, it's the opportunity lost that's almost incalculable, because all of those people hours doing that thing, that wasteful thing that could have been using that for the thought work and the relationship work, or just having more bandwidth to take on other projects and yield more upside for their respective companies, is almost incalculable. So Patrick, building on that, why do you think it is that there hasn't been that level of technology advancement in this pre-construction phase that we're both passionate about?
It's a great question. Like you said, I think it's critical. It's addressed. It's got to be done right. It's the beginning of all jobs is pre-con, so it's got to be done right. And as we know, it is often one of the biggest cost drivers. For reasons why it hasn't, I think a lot of it has to do with a lot of the technology that we've seen in the industry hasn't come from insiders. It's come from outsiders. And unless you're an insider like us, you don't really understand some of the real issues with pre-con and what it takes to truly do it, and the amount of detail that goes into it, but the nuance, the art that goes into it, but then the inefficiency that goes into it, right? And how, on any given job, just from the Togle standpoint, there's 100 people doing the exact same thing easily on every job, right? On every job of any size, right? With all the different trades and contractors doing the exact same takeoffs. It's crazy how much repeated work there is and sort of wasted time. But with the tools available, that's the only way to do it. So, I think a lot of it has to do with just construction being thin margins, people not having the mindset, capabilities to invest in the technology needed, and having outsiders trying to solve problems that maybe weren't even problems, right? Maybe focusing on the wrong things, and maybe there's a sexy problem, but maybe it's not really solving something. So I think we're finally coming around. So I'm excited about companies like yours and mine. But Steve, what's your vision for how to solve these problems in the pre-con phase for builders?
I think first and foremost, having the right balance between tools that are super powerful and saving a lot of time and doing it in a very smart way like Toggle. At the same time, also a from a broader pre-construction perspective, having a holistic approach, which is really our main focus in that how do you take all of the different functions and workflows that make up this very iterative, generally fractured process of pre-construction and bring it all in together. And so, our vision at ConCntric is to be the platform that unites the process, unites the data, and pulls all the people together so that way we can drive for the most affordable, sustainable, and predictable outcomes for these projects. We want to be the one that helps bring it all together, whether it's companies and people, and the right assembly of these tools, as well as what we will organically build, when there isn't anything else out there or on the horizon. And if we can build all of that and stitch it together, the power of the data going from one project to the next, there's this flywheel effect, this positive impact that you're getting better and smarter. And the data is your data and it's serving you in much more powerful ways will really start to become apparent to everybody. And I think is going to be a real natural motivator for everybody to really rethink about how they do, not how they do pre-construction, but the tools they elect to use in order to do pre-construction better and smarter. But it's these are fun challenges to solve. I have my hats off to you guys. You guys are winning awards. You guys, I mean, you yourself are was invited to be part of the White House committees on export and everything related to construction. So congratulations on that. But
Thank you.
how do you think the AI element of what Toggle is doing is going to change the industry?
First of all, lucky to have a great team, just like you. It's all about that team and coming together, a mix of the AI, algorithm, mathematicians, and all the folks we got doing all that with the construction, right? Sort of the raw construction coming together. That marriage is where I think it's exciting. The tech sometimes has a tendency to sort of outpace what could really be adopted, and so I think similar to what you're doing, Togle isn't trying to change the whole process. We're just incrementally improving one step of it, right? We're not trying to predict everything, just one piece of it, right? Let's simplify it. And while we've got some big ideas with artificial intelligence and what the future holds, some of the recent releases with Chat GPT and generative AI and all are going to be transformational for our industry. I think we will all live in a world, again, I don't know how long, but where generative construction documents are made with some very minor input. Architects and engineers and a lot of that engineering that goes into it will be automated, right? There's enough data that's out there. There's been enough jobs built, and much of this can be boiled down to math that it can be automated. Now, that's the end goal. How do you get there? There's a long way to go. One of the things we're working on right now is predictive change orders. Basically looking at the data set of all the jobs that have been built and comparing that to future jobs. And as we all know, once you get to the field, there's a lot of change orders that are kind of obvious that should have been caught. The computer can catch that because the computer is smart enough and it's affordable to analyze literally millions of previous plans that have been built that are up to code and working. And so that's the big, I think breakthrough now is that it's affordable for the computers to do a lot of this manual work and quit reinventing plane every time you want to fly in it, right? We don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's been done before. Let's use that data to improve the process.
Exciting stuff. Exciting
Yeah.
stuff. And it's fun to partner with Togle on what we're all collectively doing. So appreciate you being part of this, Patrick. And
thank you for your time. Thanks for what you're doing.
We're gonna have to do this again.
Okay, sounds good. I appreciate your time.
Thanks, Patrick.
Thank you. Bye bye.